Right, I'm off to a flying start.
Yeah, out the trap.
Wrong.
Like a couple of greyhounds. First live stream. Let's go.
Opened with completely the wrong screen. Welcome to OneFinePlay's first ever live stream update, product announcement, tutorial thing.
So many things.
I'm your host, James Bishop, and with me, I'm delighted to have my co-working buddy Matt.
Co-working. We're not in the same company. We're just in the same space occasionally. Is that where we're going?
We are in the same company. My co-business person.
COO Sue.
So yeah.
So
I'm James, founder at OneFinePlay, and Matt is our COO. We are excited to be getting into this first ever live stream. The idea really is there's lots changing at OneFinePlay. We're building lots of products. We're doing really exciting things. We want to share it with the world, and we thought, what better way than a build in public type live stream. We're planning once a week, but we'll see how that goes, but definitely once a week for a while, where each week we just share with you what's going on, a bit behind the scenes, what we've got planned, what we're working on, new products, that kind of thing. Is that right, Matt?
that is exactly right. I didn't realize that the build in public thing was like a movement. There are lots of people on YouTube, on the Twitters, all doing this kind of build in public thing. Yeah, we're really keen to get some good feedback as we launch products and services to help the creator economy.
There are communities, there are courses, there's all sorts of this build in public thing.
Yeah,
I had no idea either.
I had no idea. We thought we were so unique. We're like, we're the pioneers, and then we got to the mountain and there were loads of other flags.
I don't think we thought we were unique, and I don't think
my mum says I'm unique.
And I don't think it's that revolutionary a thing, but I didn't realize it was such a big movement. And I think it's something that I've told so many other people to do. And then I thought I should really be a practitioner. And I just think it's a really smart idea. I love watching other people's build in public live streams. I'm a big fan of the ones that FinSuite do, which is a Webflow agency. They live stream on a regular basis. All these similar kind of things. Mark Asquith has done it over at Captivate.fm, the podcast hosting company, for years. He's live streamed his new product launches, and now we're actually in the middle of doing one. I realized quite how slick they are compared to how much waffle we have made in the last, I don't even know because I can't even see the clock. 2 minutes and 58 seconds.
It's fine. It's fine. This is build our confidence in public as well.
So if I press this button here.
Here we go.
You ready for this? Ooh, I'm hoping that what's happened is you can now see some slides that we've prepared. Selena, our fantastic in-house designer, got onto this product we're using, which is called Ecamm Live, installed it on the computer, and it's pretty straightforward once you get to grips with it. But being the first live stream, there's buttons everywhere. It is really detailed. There's so much stuff you can do with it. There are lots of other live streaming software tools you can use that tend to be in browser, like StreamYard is a well-known one. This one runs on your desktop, and it's just that little bit more detailed, but it also allowed for the customization of stuff like these screens. So I'll just, look, you could have like just me like this, or you could have just Matt like this. And it's just allowed us to brand it that little bit more and make it a little bit more us. But there is a little bit of a learning curve. Look, if we had more mates, we could have a chat with me and some other people. These have all been preset. Maybe we'll use these in the future. But I think this is the one we were looking for. So let's waffle. Let's get on with it.
Let's waffle. Let's talk more.
So,
elegant.
The idea for today is just a bit of an intro to who we are, what we're all about if you didn't know before, and then a little bit more about what's happening at OneFinePlay, how it's evolving, and then we want to dive into some of the product stuff that we've been building just to give you a bit of a show around. So Matt, the notes in Notion say we should be telling people who we are and why you should listen to us. So why should we listen to you?
Well, let's start with who I am before I reveal why you should listen. I'm Matt Cheney. I have been working in media for 16 years now. I have a background in audio primarily in TV, film, radio, apps, digital content, branded content. I've been, audio sound designing and running teams for a very long time. Was former head of audio at Vice Media. There I got to see a myriad of content, and that inspired me to leave in 2020 and set up my own venture, where I've been out and I've been coaching people to create podcasts, create content, develop inbound marketing strategies around their business, and to build a personal brand or build a brand. Some businesses didn't have a brand. And then this year I have joined OneFinePlay on their new adventure to help the creator economy.
And we're delighted to have you.
It's been nice.
So, quite a broad spectrum of experience, especially in the audio space.
Yeah.
Just before we move on, I'd love to understand, what is it that excites you about the creator economy?
I liken it to the yellow pages. Websites are like the single listing in a yellow page. It's just a name and a number. But do you remember the big ads that used to be in there? I feel that that's the evolution of content. We've got the internet, Web 2.0 as you see it, and then websites and brands and entities and individuals, they need some more. They need some more substance. There is a fight for attention, and I believe that businesses, brands, content creators that put out relevant content to their audience so that their audience can engage with their brand while they sleep is the secret to success moving forward. I think there's huge opportunities for incredibly niche content, which is exciting and people can work around their passion. But I also believe it's at the forefront of marketing moving forward is to have an established content arm of your business. Become that media entity.
I couldn't agree more with that whole sentiment.
It's convenient, right?
It's convenient, I suppose. Maybe that's why we we've worked together. And I think we should probably share in a minute. I'll just introduce myself.
Please do.
But then I think we should sort of talk a little bit more about, our take of what the creator economy is, our story, that kind of thing. So I'm James Bishop, founder at OneFinePlay.
Well, he gets sound effects.
I wanted to use the sound effects when you were talking, but I didn't want to
interrupt
ruin your important spiel. These sound effects are fun, though. I feel like we should take full advantage of them. I have been self-employed for about 16, 17 years now. Started out running an events company where I ran cocktail bars, which was really a study in human behavior. So I ran bars at events, festivals, private events, branded gigs, all sorts of stuff. And whilst at the time I just thought it was a lot of grind and helping people to, get another beer, it was also an understanding of what consumer attention looks like in 3D, in the real world. And it was a really great experience. Traveled all around the world, all kinds of awesome experiences. That kind of came to a close when I was about 30, and I moved into content and discovered I was creative. I hadn't really identified as a creative prior to that. Did a short stint in television for a sports TV production company in London, which led me through a myriad of individual events into podcasting. And it's been a great experience in podcasting. I have exec produced a whole range of shows, lots of stuff in the social purpose space, some stuff with talent, some shows that have been very niche, some that have been mainstream, number one in the charts, worked internationally, received millions of downloads. And I think over the space of 4 or 5 years, through COVID, through all these turbulent recent times, I've come to realize that it's not the successes that we've had that's interesting, but the learnings along the way. And we now live in an era where the concept of a podcast has really changed. And it's, pretty much does videos now. And so being a podcast production company has sort of become something that's a bit weird for us. And so we've really looked at what it is that we do know, what it is that is the secret sauce that allows people who make content to win attention and to be successful, and what's working and what's not working, and the difference between tactics and strategies and stories and planning and pre-production versus post-production and all that kind of stuff. And my passion now really lies in passing on and democratizing the knowledge that I have developed over the last few years in the fortunate position exec producing shows that have done well. And my passion now is really to start sharing that, but not just through teaching or consulting, but through building products and finding interesting and innovative ways to share that knowledge and to make it tangible for people so they can go off and do awesome things. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
I'm also just bought my first house, just turned 40, in the
So grown
process
up.
of doing it up. I know. It's really is a time, you know? Time to be alive. So we've come together. We met on a very random Sunday afternoon at a dodgy podcast recording in North London. And I think we both thought we'd wasted our time basically turning up to this. I don't know a really good way of explaining it, but it's a whole nother story for another time.
Yeah, DM us and I'll send you the link of the podcast record and you can make your own minds up.
But it was very odd. And anyway, we were sitting next to each other. We'd never met before. We never spoke. And I kind of just needed to decompress after this weird hour and a half of my life. And so we went for coffee. And one thing led to another. And now we're working together.
Yeah.
And
you're still just cheering my ear off a year later.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like, except it felt like a fortuitous moment. We went on to run a boot camp together. We worked together on we actually both gave up our time and taught 10 budding creators during a 6-week boot camp and gave them lots of advice and skills and how to improve the content they were making. And I think that was a really good process for us both because it was quite cathartic. We got to learn from each other. There was no money being exchanged, so it was very honest and genuine. And from that, we've then turned that into a business relationship. I think that was a good, very long first date for us.
Yeah. But it's good to test these things. You need to work out how you work together, what you agree on, what you disagree on. I think we found that you're an architect, I'm a builder. You're a cat, I'm a dog. You're a consultant, I'm a coach. It just works.
It
we
does
don't
seem
like
to
to
work.
overlap too much. Yeah.
You're technical. I'm not technical.
But you love the tech.
I hate the tech, which is funny because you've let me control the buttons today.
Yes.
I
like the challenge.
I have actually just remembered that during this live stream, I could be doing all kinds of fun things, but I've just been sitting here concentrating on the talking.
Yeah.
Should we have another sound effect just while we're at it?
Yeah. Brilliant. What's the context of that? The context for that? Why?
I don't know. Say something fun. This is our first ever live stream. So, Matt, why are we doing these live streams?
Because you told me to, Drill Sergeant. No. We are doing these live streams because we're keen to do this build in public. We are keen to build traction. I have found as being my own boss for the last 3 years that, people can't buy your shit if they don't know who you are and what you're doing. People talk about marketing as if it comes after a product or service has been created. And from my podcast coaching and OneFinePlay's background in podcast coaching, that doesn't make any sense. We believe in engagement strategies. We believe in talking to the audience before you create things. So for me, this live stream is about us putting ourselves out there and demonstrating what we're trying to achieve, how we're moving forward, and just sharing with the world the process of trying to develop a business and some technology in the creator economy in 2023 and onwards.
Oh, he's got to press a button. There we go. Look at that. And I definitely would echo that. The idea of these live streams, I think we didn't have to put a lot of effort into this one not being very good. The whole idea of live is tricky. You have to keep going, and I think it's a skill that you learn. I love the live stream format because it's making us do it, and also it gives that real, tangible, unpolished thing which is missing, I guess, in the modern day. If it wasn't for doing this as a live, I don't think we would have shared this information, and I think that people do really like something that's the offset to the brand. We know as a business that we're not putting out enough content. We're way too invisible. That's something that we've spoken about a lot recently.
Yeah.
What's that 7-11 for Daniel Priestley thing?
Yeah,
Or
so 7-11 for the 7 hours of engagement, 11 touch points in 4 different locations for someone to go from acquaintance to friend.
and
So we're
we've sort of been
seeking to,
doing 0, 0.5,
yeah,
0.
yeah,
And so this is, definitely part of that. But also, we're building awesome stuff. And there's lots of learnings and lessons and changes that I think people would love to know about and
mm,
will help them on their own journeys as well as being part of ours. We really want to build that community because we, as creators, understand the value of bringing people together and connecting and sharing and creating spaces to have conversations. We want to do
yeah,
more of that. And just by telling in real time, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, document, don't create.
mm,
And I think that this kind of building public live stream weekly update thing, which we will probably try and ramble less with in the future. We've
yeah.
been 16 minutes and not actually said anything yet. But
We haven't
hey,
told you what's coming up, so
it's
thanks for
our
sticking around for 16 minutes. Yeah.
it's our first one, and I'm sure there's lots of learnings to take away from each week or every time we do this, and we will try and make it better. So, OneFinePlay, lots has been changing. We started out as a production company. It was great. So, a very quick history of OneFinePlay is that we started out 2019. We had a studio, Central London. It wasn't even a studio, it was an office and a co working space. And we were making content in this co working space. We were basically running as a marketing company. It was me and a colleague of mine who's still with us today called Kazra. We had a 6-person office and we would shoot our own videos, our own content. And if you go back on the YouTube channel, you can see content we shot there back in 2019. And people would walk past. We had glass windows. We had windows, glass
Windows.
ones. It's funny that. And people would knock on the door and go, "Hey, we can borrow that setup just to record a thing, could we?" They're like, "Yeah, of course." And then basically that turned into it being a podcast studio. So it was a 6-person office and we would just rent it out. We would allow people to come in, record their podcast for an hour or so because we're a bit lenient with that kind of thing. And then we would edit it and return it to them within 24 hours. And that was a really good business. And we got that up to basically capacity within about 9 months. We were doing 13 recordings a week. We were doing 3 sessions a day, 5 days a week. And then COVID hit and we went from that to 0 because we had to close. It was a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
But in that journey, we had met and we started making shows for some interesting talent. And if you're British, you'll have heard of people like Ross Kemp, for example, was someone that we were making a podcast with, which gave us great exposure. We learned lots of stuff. But suddenly we had no studio, so we had to revert to doing something else. So we got into making high-end shows where we were charging, good high 5 figures to make high 4 figures, should we say, an episode to make podcasts. And in that whole space, and that's been great. Post-COVID and in this sort of brave new world of social and the introduction of more short form and vertical and less demand for, I guess, purist, really high quality audio narrative storytelling and more demand for video, we found the agency side of production trickier, especially when you add in AI tools and the have a go mindset that has come post-COVID of like, let's just record it and put it out and see what happens. And so the agency, I'm not going to know two ways about it. It's been tricky. We've had to navigate our way through. We still have some really good work. We have lots of work that we're really proud of, lots of work we say no to, but it's not been particularly straightforward. And so we started to diversify. One of the things that we did along the way was we worked on a fairly tight pre-production process for our podcasting, which we've turned into a product, which we will talk more about. And we've built some other stuff as well. And then a few months ago, we realized that we basically just built a whole load of different stuff and we didn't really have an identity anymore. Lots of little close relationships with different people and some really strong relationships and doing some great stuff. But the overall brand has got a bit diluted. So that was when I started talking more seriously with you, with a bunch of other people, and really had to come back to what is this whole OneFinePlay thing about? And I guess that is what brought us to going back to looking at our North Star, going back to looking at what is it that really gets us up in the morning, what connects everything we do together. And that's how we landed on this whole concept of maximizing creator potential.
Yeah, we kind of broke things down a little bit. A couple of weeks ago, you and I had a 6-hour meeting, I think it was, and we both ideated beyond OneFinePlay. Like, if we had the choice, what would we do outside of this job? If this just went away tomorrow, we had no financial obligations, we could just do whatever we wanted. We both came to the same conclusion that we would like to help people realize their potential. And so all of a sudden it laid right out in front of us. Like, that's our North Star. That's what we can do in OneFinePlay while we're still in it and doing it. Let's make that our North Star, maximizing creator potential. Now, that term is subjective. So what do you think this looks like? What does maximizing creator potential look like tangibly for someone watching?
What does it mean, I guess,
Mm,
is important. So I guess there's some context required. At OneFinePlay, we haven't worked really on new shows, with an exception of a few, for quite a long time. Our specialism has always been take someone who has already had a go, who's already got the ball rolling, and now wants to do more. They've probably, there's a statistic banded around that 93% of people quit podcasting after 7 episodes. And it was kind of like, how do we take that person at the 7 episodes and understand why, and then get them over that threshold to keep them moving? And rather than the starting from scratch, which is really, I guess it's a lot of a reflection on me. I don't want to talk to you about what microphone or, all the common standard errors that people, or traps that people make when starting out making content. So for me, it was always interesting to work with someone who'd already tasted it. It's just a reflection of what I'm passionate about as a person, and see what we could do with it. So the maximizing bit for me is about making the most of what someone has already started. That tends to mean, in most content circumstances, it's maximizing marketing, maximizing marketability, maximizing monetization, maximizing maximizing engagement, maximizing audiences, maximizing storytelling, maximizing there being a hook, there being a 3-act narrative, maximizing, all those kinds of things. Like, how can you get more from where you already are? How do you constantly evolve it and make micro adjustments? I'm a big believer in the idea that extraordinary moments or extraordinary achievements are made up from lots of unextraordinary actions. So it's how do you make little ongoing tweaks and learnings and iterations in order to create something that then seems to become amazing. Creator for me is, again, probably aligned with my passion. I got into this whole game by being obsessed with YouTube. Story for another time. Creator is a way of describing someone who's making stuff on the internet. So a creative, and this is a topic that gets debated a lot internally, but a creator to me is a new breed of person who's making on the internet in order to build a digital presence, I guess. So that means that if you're doing pottery, a creative might be really good at sewing or pottery or woodwork, but the creator bit is the version of them that they are creating or building using digital tools and digital products in order to have an online presence. And potential is about making sure they're not leaving opportunities on the table. Is there filling their potential in every way, from commercial to reach to enjoyment to network.
Enjoyment's a key one. Yeah.
All those kinds of things. It's not just be the biggest and best and get the most followers. That's not what it's about. There's so, because for me, maximizing potential. If you ask ourselves, my mum, she would go, James spent the first 18 years of his life not maximizing his potential. He was quite smart, but he didn't revise hard enough for his exams. And he was quite good at sport, but he wasn't the best. And he didn't really apply himself a lot. And it wasn't until, I was a bit older in life and I started to figure out stuff for myself. And that's, again, it's not a therapy session. But
Jeez.
for me, maximizing my own potential has been a thing that I have strived towards. I definitely underperformed on in the first half of the 40 years I've been on the planet, and have spent the second half of it, or the last third of it at least, I suppose, really striving towards. So spending my time sharing my learnings and helping others to maximize their potential is something I find super exciting.
Yeah, me too. Sounds good.
So that's kind of like our North Star. I suppose that ties together everything that we're trying to do. And what that
Yeah.
looks like on a day-to-day basis is helping creators, or so what that looks like in a very simple terms is helping individual creators think more like brands, which tends to be helping, you know, individuals to consider their marketing and how they might make money and give them a bit of belief, and
Mm,
helping brands think more like this new breed of internet creators who now control the planet, rather than, and sort of helping them break out of their traditional mindset of we're a brand and we need to do everything in these really formal, fixed
mm.
ways that are really constraining and restraining and stop us from building emotional relationships and actually
Yeah, a bit
with
one directional, aren't they?
yeah. So our production work as an agency, this
Mm.
is obviously, as I said, this is where we stemmed from.
Hmm.
And OneFinePlay, I think, is probably known pretty much as an agency. That's what its reputation comes from.
Yeah.
uh, and to give you an idea, we've made a bunch of shows. We made a podcast primarily. We've done some video work and some other stuff, but primarily podcasts. We made a show called Duchess, about the Duchess of Rutland, who went to visit the female owners of other heritage or stately homes around the UK and learn all about the importance of the female line through history and what it's like to become the custodian of stately homes, and really shared that story looking at some key valuable elements of that whole story that have integrity. So it's much less about what it's like to be it's much less about what you see on television and much more about the realities of owning a stately home. And that's done
Mm.
phenomenally across the globe. um, it's just actually a new season is coming out next week, which is super exciting. Made shows about climate change and climate action that have led to um, again millions of downloads. We've made shows that have helped founders to raise millions of bucks for their startups. We've been responsible for, I think, 3 book deals at this point, none of which I have to hand. Um, a TV show that was commissioned on Netflix. All sorts of stuff has come from the shows that we've made.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the challenges, which is one of the reasons for these Build in Public sessions, is to really start to evolve the understanding or the perception of OneFinePlay past the agency. Because whilst one part of our business, and our team is fairly small, but probably only half the people in the business actually work on the agency, we've done a
Mm.
whole bunch of other stuff which we think is super valuable and that we're probably putting more energy into. And whilst we still want the agency to grow and we are very much keeping it alive, a lot of the reason for that is so that we can make our own content. So we can take our learnings and the team's efficiencies and processes and skills and use it as a media company for OneFinePlay, so we can share our own story, can make our own content on our own terms. We can share what we're doing at scale,
Mm.
whilst also doing select work for brands and individuals and stories that we think are important. We're always looking for more agency work and to have conversations. We have in-house videographers, audio engineers, editors, producers,
Writers.
designers,
Yeah.
and we've got to pay the bills somehow. But the aim really is to sort of evolve out of an agency more to like a product studio or something along those lines, I guess, where we
Yeah.
want to be more ingrained and known around culture and insights and trends and what the what the products that we're building are and how they're useful to people.
Yeah, solutions to maximize creator potential. That's what we're in the game of.
Because we're aware that not everyone, the majority of people probably don't have the luxury of paying a full agency to make stuff, because we're not like an edit only service, or you can't just
No.
send us, for transparency, our shows start at probably $1,500 an episode. Working with the agency, you got to be looking at that kind of money. It's not we'll edit that, we'll record it and edit it and give it to you for $150. That's not our jam.
No, you want to oversee the product itself. It kind of is instrumental to a OneFinePlay success. I think looking back through your productions and how you produce things, and I've been in the business a little while now, it's key to get the pre-production nailed. It seems to be the signifier that the rest of the process will just naturally succeed as well if you've done the deep work at the beginning.
And I think what's important about the agency work that we do is we approach everything as if it's a business. So we kind of reverse engineer our design. So we're looking at, is this marketable? Who cares? Who's the audience? What's the story? Who's the host? Why is the host relevant? How are we going to build products and revenues and audiences and communities around?
All right, don't give it all away. Jeez, give it all away.
All right, but that's basically
some things,
That's what the agency. That's the agency work we do. That's what it's all about. How do you make commercially viable content, not just churn recordings?
Yeah,
basically,
we want longevity.
Not do this, not go on a stream unplanned and chat and hope for the best.
I've planned. It just appears you haven't. It's fine.
So, talk me through the new structure then.
The new structure. So OneFinePlay, as we said, are in the game of creating tools, products, services, and solutions for creators to maximize their potential. So in this new structure, we have evolved. You'll still go to OneFinePlay.com. That is the home, that is the resource. But in it, we have got a marketplace where we will be listing products and services like a trust pilot for the creator economy. You'll be able to vote things up and down. You'll be able to leave comments. You'll be able to set up profiles, save your favorite tools and stack and share them with your friends. And we're hoping to build this out to have opportunities for work, opportunities for connecting with people, and more engagement from the brands themselves within it, as well as you, the audience, sort of connecting with people in the creator economy. So that's a marketplace V1. Everything is going to evolve over time. We are the Squirtle at the moment, yet to evolve. Next, we've got the planner. Now, the planner itself is the blueprint that James has used, and it turns out that my blueprint was very, very similar as well. And we've combined it together, and we've got this super pre-production process that can help you get into the top 1% of podcasts and have longevity. It doesn't mean you have to have a podcast running 365 days a year, but you can build a product that serves your goals and your objectives. So we'll be releasing versions of the product, the planner. There'll be a free version. There'll be some video modules. Then there'll be the app itself that James has been developing over the last 2 years. And then we can support you with our next product, which will be our coaching and membership service, where you can come in, you can access James and I on a week-by-week basis. We're going to be hosting events across all of this. So there'll be events in the industry, but you're able to get pre-launch access to our future products and future services in the membership, as well as all of the coaching products that we're going to develop as we develop. And then, as we've already mentioned, there is the agency, the production company that runs alongside this. So you've come in, you've learned about how you want to build your podcast, what it is, why it matters. We give you some coaching. And then if there's parts of the process that you don't want to do, we've got a production company full of amazing world-class creatives in there to help you make your shows, whether it be video, audio, shorts. I think about content now and podcasting as just an entire ecosystem. So we talk about content. We come from podcasting. I don't think you can grow a podcast now with audio alone, that being sort of just throw it on the RSS and tell your friends. I think there's whole copywriting, there's website, there's social. Yeah, I mean, you just need a presence and engagement strategies too nowadays.
And I think what's exciting about this idea is that these products will work well together. So the
Yes.
planner is very much like a business plan for your content. We're
Mm.
referring to podcasting a lot because that's where we come from, but it kind of as we've talked about a lot recently, it works for anything. It could
Yeah.
work for videos, it could work for short form, it could work for an event. It's a 9-step process that you basically use to think about your podcast as a business or your
Indeed.
content as a business. The marketplace is, it's still taking shape, and I'm going to give a quick demo of what that's all about soon because I think people can get value from it today.
Yeah.
Currently more of a directory than a marketplace. And these products all work independently of each other, but they're also connected together. And if you're looking to maximize the potential of the content that you're making, you feel like you're making content, you're not getting enough from it, but you don't want to be preached at, and you've read enough LinkedIn posts of, well, just do this or just do that, and you want to get a bit deeper, or you want to understand a bit more, or you want to just find some answers to stuff, it's in here. There's access here somewhere. And 95% of the stuff that we're doing here is free. Everything in the marketplace, it's free. The planner is not free, but there is a free version.
Yeah.
The coaching, there's a whole load of free stuff you can attend, like Thursday mornings 9 a.m. there's a free coaching call. You can just jump on it and we'll answer your questions, whatever it might be about making content. So we're really trying to offer as much of it as we can, but obviously we have to eat somewhere, so there's a few things that are gated. By the way, just as a little reference of how this is going so far, Matt, I think you'll be delighted to know I just can see that currently we have 2 people watching the stream. You've been one of them the whole time.
Yeah.
So there must be someone else watching, which is
I just wanted to boost those numbers. That's probably my mum.
But we've had 1 thumbs down.
Ah.
We've had no thumbs up, but we have had a thumbs down. So
no, that was probably me. Clumsy fingers.
That's a good reflection of how things are going so far.
We should have loaded the front of the live stream telling people what to hang around for.
We probably should have done that. Be a learning
inflection point right in the middle of the show. Yeah.
But it was always the first one. This is our warm up. It's a pilot. We'll get better. Don't you worry. We've also been going for 37 minutes. We'll try and keep them shorter than this. So I think the idea for today is to just give a little demo of the marketplace, of what's there, of this. We call it marketplace, but we switch between what it is.
Marketplace, yeah.
What's that, sorry?
Whatever we want to call it on the day. Maybe the audience, like whoever's watching, can tell us what you think this is.
So it's live now at OneFinePlay. This is basically a new version of what used to be a directory that we launched a couple of years ago. I had meticulously, for about 2 years, kept an Excel document of every company in podcasting I had come across. And a couple of years ago, I decided to just share it. And it went down really well. We shared it across the podcasting industry and people loved it. And I think we became quite well known for the directory for a while, but it was literally thrown together in a couple of days. Well, that's not true, about a week probably. And it didn't work very well and it was very limited. So we decided to rebuild it. And then in rebuilding it, it's got fancier and fancier. So you can find it at OneFinePlay.com. And it's all free. And I'm just going to walk you through what's available. So it breaks down into 5 different topics. You've got products. This is tools, basically online tools that you can use. There are a whole bunch of resources. Resources are things like newsletters and podcasts and stuff like that, places you can go to learn. There's a whole section for the ability to find people to hire. So if you are looking for a company to help you with your podcast production or marketing, or a freelancer or ad sales, that kind of thing, they're all listed there. Podcasting events is in the events section. And then if you're looking for jobs, you can list a job and people can see your job and apply for it there. You've got a whole bunch of filters that work and make it easier for you to find stuff. And then when you go into a listing, so let's randomly look for, what do you want to find, Matt? Give me something to look for.
People are big on the shorts at the moment. Can you find a tool to help me with my shorts?
Absolutely.
Please?
So if I were to go to, I can either search all, in which case I'd probably be looking for clips editors. So I can click clips editors here, and it will give me a list of clips editors that I can use. So then I might also want to search by clips editors that use AI. So I can search a keyword. Here's some clips editors that use AI, and say I'm really interested in Veed, my friends over at Veed. Then I can click into here, and I can see a whole bunch of information about Veed. I can join a discussion. I could review it. I can upvote. I can save. I can share. I can go straight to the website. I can see a whole bunch of basic information. So it's a really good, quick resource to give you a cross section of the landscape and whatever it is that you're looking for. It's tagged pretty well too, so you could just search if you wanted to for stuff that's got AI in it. Or let's say we're looking at events. Here's a list of all the upcoming events. So there's some OneFinePlay events coming up, but then we've got a whole bunch of other industry events, all in and around the creator economy. You can jump into these, find out about them, link out to the website. You can save, you can upvote. So yeah, it's all there. It's still a first version. We have currently imported all of the data. So one of the things that we really need people to do is to come to the website, to create a free account, to interact with it, to upvote stuff, to save stuff, to review, to use it for discussions.
Come and break it.
Come and break it, but also start using it to add value to the community. Because the more people that use this, the more it will be accurate. If you want to find your favorite, I don't know, let's just say you want to find, you can find all the podcasting awards that are going on, right? There's a list of a whole load of podcasting awards. It's gonna be better the more people that have upvoted, the more that you'll be able to see. So we need people to come in and actually interact with it. If you are one of those people that's listed in the platform, we're reaching out to people manually anyway, as many as we can. But if you're one of those people, please do come in, find your listing. Let's just randomly go here.
So like you're posting letters when you say manually.
In what way?
Just the idea of a manual reaching out.
Yeah. Okay, we're reaching out to people by email to get them to come and claim their accounts. But let's say that you are the owner of Buzzcast, which clearly I'm not. It's clearly owned by Buzzsprout. But let's say that I am. And that's where you come in and you hit claim your listing. And then when you claim your listing, you can update it. You can add a whole load of extra information that we haven't put in here yet. And you can then manage your listing ongoing. It'd also be amazing if you are using the platform, but you have an upcoming event, or you're looking to hire someone, or you have a product and you're not yet listed, then you can also add that. And we would love for people to add that, add jobs, add events. If you are a freelancer and you're looking for work, come and join our freelancer section. If you're a production company and you're not listed, then hopefully we start connecting people together.
Yeah, that's the idea.
The more that we share the word, the more that we tell other people about it, the more people come and use this as a resource, the stronger it will be. As I say, it's all free. There's no paywall here at all. You have to create an account because that's the only way we can manage your upvotes and your likes and that kind of stuff.
We don't want the bots to take over either. Yeah.
We don't want the bots to take over, but it's not a trick. There's no cost right now, which is great. So we really want to just help the community, because there's so many people out there who are saying things like, oh, okay, I'm looking for an edit only service. Do you know anyone? Okay, cool. Well, no, but go here and here's here's 16 edit only services for your podcast. There might be a great solution in here for you.
There's so much friction in content creation, and that's one of the things we're looking to alleviate. There's all these reasons to not do something, or to get stuck, or it seems overwhelming. If we can simplify some of these processes and choices, then hopefully that'll encourage more people to create more. Then they can maximize the potential over time, and more creators is nothing but good in my eyes, but I'm very biased.
But yeah, so that's what the marketplace is all about. It's early days for us because we've got a basis in here now. There's 875 listings altogether, I think, currently.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work now until we get the community to start interacting with it. We need people to come and update their listings, claim their listings, to add new listings, to add their own opinion, to share, to comment, to discuss, to review, so that other people can benefit from your knowledge. And then as a community tool, it will be super powerful, we hope, in the coming months.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's what the directory is. That's what the marketplace is all about. That's it for now.
That is
Um,
it. No, yeah.
so uh,
Next
Matt,
week.
this live
Yeah,
stream
next
has
week.
been. We're gonna wrap now. It's been 45 minutes, so I think
It
probably
has.
call it a day.
Next week, we're going to look at the marketplace a little bit more, and we're going to try and answer any of your questions and unpack the marketplace a little bit deeper, to show you how to set it up, how to get using it, how to build a profile, how to engage with it more. And we'll be talking about other good things in OneFinePlay as we build them. Pew, 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 pew.
So yeah, I think that's probably it. As I say, go check out onefineplay.com. It's currently at /discover if you want to know the whole URL, but onefineplay.com, you'll find it. Create yourself a free account, interact, claim those listings, spread the word. We really, really appreciate it. If you have watched any of this live stream and you've got any comments, any questions, anything at all, please do comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that subscribe button if that's what you're into. And we will see you next week for a slightly more polished live stream. But until then, it's been fun. Any last words from you, Matt?
Goodbye.
Bye.